Hello, welcome back to another edition of our Simpsons season review. If you haven't seen any of our other videos, please feel free, go and check them out. Now in this video we'll be reviewing season 2 episode 19, Lisa's Substitute. And this episode first aired on April the 25th of 1991.
Now, viewing figures for this episode, this episode's actually the lowest figures so far for both the first and the second season. It's 17.7 million.
You can sort of see the decline, and maybe it's because it's not a Bart episode, or
Maybe
and
the fact
Lisa's
it's
not popular.
Lisa episode. Maybe
She's not a popular character, so
yeah.
as we said before, earlier Simpsons, Bart was very popular.
Maybe just the fact, like you say, his name's not in the title, so it's dropped.
And there's so many episodes in this season as well.
So maybe burn out as well for viewers. They say debut character, it's cameo appearance, but considering the effect he has on the series, obviously Mr. Bergstrom is your debut one for this episode. The episode itself, to get to the plot point, we start off with Skinner and Miss Hoover coming into class. Miss Hoover's upset about something. The kids are speculating on what it could be. Lisa jumps to the conclusion she's been dumped. But we find out she's got Lyme disease.
No compassion from Principal Skinner.
Yeah, he's asked, the class asked what it is, and then without thinking, he just tactlessly basically tells the entire class what it is and all the horrible things it can cause.
They just escorts her out of the room, closes the door.
And this is where we find out her first name is Elizabeth.
Exactly.
And then basically Skinner decides he's going to take the class until a new teacher comes in or replacement comes in.
Pardon the pun, all guns blazing.
Yeah, exactly. But before we get to that, we then skip to the start of the second story arc, and there's a screen coming from another classroom, and straight away Skinner knows it's Bart, who's doing a show and tell on the birth of Snowball and a few of the other cats. I don't think it's ever mentioned how many.
No.
But
I'm surprised Mrs. Krabappel let him show the kids in the class the video.
And then again, it's like, okay, you can imagine Bart would want to film that sort of thing because it's Bart and he likes.
It's a Bart thing to do.
But then it raises the question: where does he get the camcorder from?
Flanders. Most of the Simpsons household is from the Flanders. I think the couch is Flanders originally, weren't it?
Possibly. Well, yeah, there won't be much that isn't. And he even gets to the point where he decides to put the video in reverse so you can see so it's like, yeah, that's a typical one. But then, like you alluded to, the new substitute teacher comes in. He said before, all guns blazing. Scares Skinner witlessly, even though he's using toy guns.
How he lasts in the army, I mean, I don't understand. He gets scared so easily.
Exactly. Who knows? But yeah, once Mr. Bergstrom's takes the class over completely, he then tries to get the class involved by the fact he's wearing this cowboy costume. He tells the class there's 3 things wrong with it, and if they could work out all 3 differences or errors with it, they get his cowboy hat.
But Lisa had to put her hand and goes, I know.
But to be fair, no one else was doing it. But again, yeah, the clever clogs element to Lisa. Even though technically she doesn't get all 3 right anyway.
Does she think she's better than everyone else? Does she think she knows a lot more than she actually knows, Lisa? Would you say that?
Possible. In this episode, yeah, it does come across that she thinks she's a bit smarter than she is. Because, I think with 2 of the differences or errors, they're pretty straightforward ones, but then she tries to get too smart on the third one about being a Jewish cowboy.
Yeah.
Even though the third one is the fact he's wearing a digital watch and watching the era that he was portraying, he didn't have any form of technology anyway. But again, Mr. Bergstrom goes, okay, then the Jewish element, yeah, and gives her the hat anyway. But again, that's probably just the case. Well, no one else is going to get the answer, and she seems to be smart enough. But then we head back across to Bart's story, and the class presidency comes up.
In my opinion, this makes the episode.
Yeah.
I know it's a Bart thing again, but Martin makes it as well. It's just that storyline in this episode. It's just good.
Yeah. Well, it's Mrs. Krabappel that puts Martin up for the presidency.
Oh, she's going to, isn't she?
Yeah. I mean, he takes it gleefully anyway because it's Martin. He's just the male version of Lisa, basically.
Exactly.
But surprisingly, Sherry and Terry put Bart up for...
I was surprised at that.
Yeah. To be fair, before that, Bart doesn't show any interest in it.
No.
But Miss Krabappel tries to shoot it down straight away by sending him to see Principal Skinner with an important note.
But he doesn't go, does he? He stays in the hallway and then...
Yeah, even though Miss Krabappel is telling the class not to encourage him. She'll later go on and try to hit on Mr. Bergstrom, who knocks her back straight away.
With Lisa listening in the hallway, and she's relieved that he knocked her back.
Yeah, even though, again, as much as many men as Mr. Krabappel's been with, it could just be the obvious thing that Mr. Bergstrom doesn't find her attractive anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, at this point, Lisa's then talking to Marge about all the little ways Mr. Bergstrom makes her feel.
Going OTT, isn't she?
Yeah, and then Marge is trying to tell her that she feels the same way about Homer, and Lisa's just not accepting it. She can't see how she could feel that way about Homer, but then again, as a viewing audience, can we really see that? But yeah, Marge just shoots her down. It's like, you just accept it, basically. But then Mr. Bergstrom, even at this point, doesn't think that Lisa's that smart, because he pulls her up on her homework and goes with one of the funnier lines of the episode of asking her whether Homer helped her with her homework.
Yeah.
It's like, you haven't met Homer Simpson.
Exactly.
Trust me, once you met him, you know that he can't help anybody with anything.
Can't even help himself.
Yeah, and Lisa has to protest anyway, even after he asks a couple of times. She's just like, no. He's basically just tells it like it is, like he isn't very smart, and basically unless the end of the sentence is burp, then yeah. And now at this point, Bart is basically the forerunner for the presidency. Everybody's behind him because he's full on political mode now. He has turned into your normal political man who's.
He's got the spiel as well for a politician.
Yeah, and literally to the point where even Martin thinks he can't win now.
Yeah, the sweat coming off Martin's face.
Yeah. But in the meantime, Mr. Bergstrom's mentioned about the Springfield Museum closing down. Lack of interest.
Yeah.
Lisa wants to go, even though I don't think they closed it down in the end. Unless there was another museum.
I don't think they did.
They've been to the Springfield Museum seasons later, a couple of times at least.
I don't think they did close it down.
So maybe this little burst of Lisa going down saved it.
Yeah.
But it's Marge that urges Homer to take Lisa to the museum, even though Homer doesn't want to go. In the end, he admits defeat because his brain can't come up with a good idea or a good excuse for it. In one of Homer's many dilemmas he has with his brain, even though it's like, well, wouldn't that just be what a smart person does? Homer's not smart.
No.
And then once he gets to the museum, once Homer realises that it's a suggested amount of $4.50,
doesn't want to pay.
He just laughs in the woman's face, like, what, you think people are going to pay that when you don't have to? Even to the point when Mr. Bergstrom comes along to pay it, and he's like, you don't have to pay it, mate, look at the sign, it's just a suggestion. And from this point, basically, Lisa's just embarrassed by Homer's antics around Mr. Bergstrom.
I think she's embarrassed by Homer, full stop, most of the time, isn't she?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Because, again, it's Homer.
Yeah.
But again, this is Lisa. She's been embarrassed by the whole family at one point or another.
Yep.
Again, like you said earlier, does she think she's better than everybody, including her own family?
Yeah, I think she does.
But at this point, this is where Mr. Bergstrom sort of sees the fact that Homer isn't as smart as he thought he was. The fact he's not very nurturing towards Lisa and all this sort of thing. Even to the point in the fact where Homer's telling him to give Lisa an A on her homework and all this sort of thing. He's like, I am, and he's like, oh yeah, but don't tell her it was a favour to me. It's like, no, she has earned it. So Homer's having this conversation with him, even though Bergstrom's coming back and telling him he's wrong for all the reasons. Homer thinks, oh, he's put on the front to make Lisa. So it's like, even Homer at this point is still showing stupidity.
He always shows stupidity. It's Homer.
Yeah. But yeah, this just makes Lisa even more upset. Speaks to Marge about the fact that she believes that Homer ruined her only opportunity to get to know Mr. Bergstrom. And just the fact at this point, Marge says, why don't you invite him to dinner? It's like...
Inviting your teacher to dinner?
It's like, really at this point, it's like, Marge clearly must know that Lisa's got a crush on a teacher. Should she really be nurturing this anyway? Well, let her down gently or something, but not to the point of like... We get to the point now where she's just fanning the flames of it, making her believe that she's got a chance, no matter how illegal it is, really. But again, that's just a small plot point that I'm sure the writers weren't thinking of too much anyway.
No.
But basically, we get to the point where Lisa's up and down the school corridors trying to work out the perfect way to invite Mr. Bergstrom along when she goes in the classroom and discovers, to her horror, Miss Hoover's back. And this is where we find out that she didn't actually have Lyme disease. She literally explains it away with the fact of that she's seen it on TV, so she's instantly... She's basically saying she's hypochondriac in this point, isn't she?
Yes, she is.
She believes she had the disease, and then she's not very happy with Mr. Bergstrom for the fact that he's not followed any of the
lesson plan,
which Lisa has a bit of a breakdown on over that. I don't think she yells at Hoover though, does she? She just basically... No,
she doesn't yell at
her. But she puts across the fact of basically, I think she's trying to say he's better teacher than you are, basically. So not as many words.
He can't be that good if he didn't follow her lesson plan.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, he didn't really... He's one of those cool teachers you have, the ones that you just end up in a classroom with and you don't really learn anything. You just basically...
Yeah, you think they're cool at the time, but then thinking back, they weren't
cool.
You
never learned anything in the class.
Exactly.
But yeah, she then decides she's going to go and find Mr. Bergstrom. Then again, that brings up another point. When did Mr. Bergstrom ever tell her where he lived?
And if he did, wouldn't he be into trouble with that anyway?
Yeah, so we're trying to say he's told her in confidence, or she's followed him, which is likely because she is
maybe
smitten. The nicer word for it. I don't think you could put her in the stalkerish category, but yeah, she's infatuated a bit of it. Once he's had a talk with one of his neighbours and found out he's going back to Capital City, we then get back to the sort of the tail end of Bart's story. He's going round the yard,
thanking people for voting for him.
Traditional politicians way, thanking all his voters for voting for him.
But no one voted for him, and then someone said, "You did vote for yourself, didn't you, Bart?"
Even though that would probably be illegal anyway.
You can't vote for yourself. And then it goes back to the classroom.
And we get one of the most classic lines
ever in The Simpsons.
1 for Madden, 2 for Madden. Would you like another recount?
That is quality. That's like I said before, that made the episode.
But yeah, so Bart's now down. Considering he didn't want to run for class president in the first place, or it didn't look like it because he was just nominated by Sherry and Terry, he's dejected.
Yeah, but then Homer goes, yeah, but would you have had to do more work? Yeah, would you get money for doing this? No.
Exactly. So in the end, but we'll get onto that a little bit at the end because that sort of all ties into the end storyline. But just to finish off with the main story, Lisa finds Mr. Bergstrom at the train station. Basically, she goes up to him angrily, as if he's breaking her heart. How he's just the fact that how dare he leave her. But even then, he leaves off the fact of I'm a substitute teacher. That's what we do. He's basically saying as many words as a substitute teacher. We're in and out of school children's lives, left, right, and centre. So basically, he's saying not as many words. I wasn't going to be around forever anyway. And then he leaves her with the poignant note of "You are Lisa Simpson."
What a great note.
It's like, yeah.
Does that try to inspire her or something?
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, you're leaving this girl who's got infatuation with you, but it's all right because she's Lisa Simpson. As we learn through this, well, to be fair, it's never really ever taken away from the fact most of the time Lisa doesn't like who she is anyway.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't even think she's a Simpson.
Exactly. I mean, some of the time she's trying to change herself around new people. So
Yeah.
a note saying "You are Lisa Simpson." It doesn't really work much as the seasons go on. But still, we get to the start of the end of the episode, the family meal. Homer's just not very sympathetic about the fact that Mr. Bergstrom's left. And then this leads to... This is the first time anybody's really, truly had a go at Homer in the series.
Yes, I think it is, to be honest.
And literally...
Bart's surprised at the table.
Yeah, and literally, Lisa even starts off the fact, I'm glad I'm not crying because I don't want you to think that any of this is out of sadness, and just basically calls him baboon over and over and over again. To the fact that Homer, being the stupid man that he is, thinks he has a right to feel upset about it.
Well, everything's always been about Homer.
And again, this leads to another... Well, I don't know whether this is another first as well. Marge actually basically turning round and shooting him down and actually saying, well, no, you don't have a right to be upset.
I think that is a first.
And then this just leads to Homer then starting his trifecta of getting back on the good books of all his children, or making all his children happy. The fact in a sense, he does actually give a nice little speech to Lisa, even though he does make a slight error when he's talking about the fact he's never lost anybody he cares about. So suddenly he's forgot about his so-called dead mother. Do you not care about her?
Exactly, I was thinking that.
But yeah, in fairness, you take that out of the equation, it is a sweet little one. He's all the people he cares about are under one roof, so he's basically emphasising, yeah, although I'm a goof, I'm this baboon that you think I am, I still do care about you. But that's not the thing that wins Lisa over anyway. It's the fact that prior to this, he sat on a doll's house and broke it, and then starts acting like a monkey. And so that leads to Lisa making up with him. Then, as you alluded to before,
Bart at the end
being a bit annoyed at not being class president. As you say, basically Homer reassures me the fact, well, you would have to do more work, you're not going to get paid for it, and literally convinces Bart it's not the end of the world not being the class president. And then another first as well. What a first here for Homer.
There is, yeah.
Maggie's crying, and literally
puts...
for once he even realises he has a third child, and then actually puts a dummy in her mouth to stop her crying. And literally, we just end the episode with Homer just acknowledging the fact that he's literally free for free with being on good terms with all the kids. And that's basically the episode. Yep.
Do you want to talk a bit about parts of the episode, references?
I'll just start off with a little bit about Mr. Bergstrom. He wasn't credited as being the voice actor at the time. It was credited as being Sam Ettick, but Mr. Bergstrom was actually voiced by Dustin Hoffman. But again, that'll be a forerunner with other celebrities for seasons to come as well. It won't be a first for them.
Now, however, a hint at his true identity is dropped in the scene where Mrs. Krabappel comes to see Bergstrom in the classroom after school. Edna
seduces him.
Stretches, like we said before.
Basically in a parody of The Graduate, of which
exactly.
Dustin Hoffman did star in that one, and basically, he does echo the words that his character said in that one about, "Are you trying to seduce me?" Basically, as we say, just a parody to the Mrs. Robinson style of it.
And the book Mr. Bergstrom was reading to the class was Charlotte's Web.
Yeah, a very popular one for
it is.
Ones. And then also, when Mr. Bergstrom first enters the classroom, the theme from The Good, the Bad and the Ugly is heard.
Yeah, you can sort of
see
that as well.
A Western movie.
A Western, you can sort of see it. Exactly, you can.
But yeah, also Lisa makes reference to there not being many Jewish cowboys, to which you get the response from Mr. Bergstrom saying there were a few. In actual history of the Old West, there were multiple range of cowboys and settlers. Cowboys of black, Mexican, European and Native American heritage, as well as cowboys who were recent immigrants from other countries such as Russia, France and Germany. Also for this is one of the only 2 episodes in which the guest star uses a pseudonym instead of the real name. The other one being the now infamous Stark Raving Dad episode. Again, this episode being pulled from a lot of the streaming services for the fact that the actor in that one who used a pseudonym is one Michael Jackson.
Exactly.
But at the time, it was just a legal dispute for why his real name wasn't used, basically. Also, as I say, with Dustin Hoffman not being credited originally, the pseudonym of Sam Ethick was chosen as a reference to his character being Jewish or Semitic. Also, in one particular scene, Maggie whimpers a little. Nancy Cartwright was asked to play Maggie, and she accepted, but she spotted her husband, who they're now divorced from, and her daughter, who was a baby at the time, walking into the studio. So she asked one of the directors if her baby could do the little whimpers for Maggie. Basically, it was originally supposed to be her, but it was actually her own baby that took on.
Also, this is the last episode not to have any voices done by Hank Azaria, who had major roles in the 3 remaining second season episodes and would be promoted to the main voice cast in the following season.
And then also, this is the show's first episode where the opening sequence starts at the driveway scene. But again, we mentioned it in previous episodes. These are just done in the case of episodes running long or short. They just basically alter the opening sequence, basically. So obviously this episode was a slightly longer one to when the other ones, basically.
Let's go to the production mistakes as they have been in the earlier seasons. When Janie is looking at the picture, Chuck's skin is the same colour as his hair. Same early production, the mistakes.
Talking about her, throughout the episode, Mr. Bergstrom hair changes from brown to black, and vice versa.
When Milhouse and Lewis approach Bart in the playground, Lewis's shorts are blue. However, a couple of shots later, they're green. And then also when Bart begins the more asbestos chant, Wendell is chanting with the rest of the class, despite being a supporter of Martin. I realised that,
But again, just production errors sort of thing for those.
How did you get a lot of the production errors wrong in the earliest episodes?
Maybe just... It may be the length of time they had to get episodes to print. Maybe they just rushed it a little bit, didn't check or something. Again, it might be the point of they left all these ones in just to see how many people would pick up on.
Maybe.
But yeah.
Maybe they didn't proofread a lot of it.
But again, I think for the major bits of the episode, I think that's it.
Positive and negatives. Again, start with a negative. Lisa's got to be a negative. always going on about her dad in the episode. He embarrasses her. But for once, Homer's not been that bad in this episode, to be honest.
Well, he does have a few instances in the middle of the episode when he meets Mr. Bergstrom, but yeah, as a whole, I don't think really is that bad. I mean, he encourages Bart to go for class president.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if his motives do seem a little bit at the fact of wanting to be the father of the class president as opposed to wanting Bart to do it, sort of thing.
But yeah, negative is Lisa. She thinks she's better than a lot of people in this episode. Going on and on at Marge about Mr. Bergstrom. Then Marge she feels that way about her father. But Lisa couldn't understand that anyone else has feelings for someone like she does.
Well, that and just the fact again, Marge having those sort of feelings for Homer.
Yeah.
But again, Marge as well is a negative, like we're saying in this episode. Basically, the fact of she sort of goes along with Lisa on this whole crush infatuation sort of thing, to the point of saying, agreeing to invite Mr. Bergstrom round, basically, where really maybe she should have had a little bit of a talk with her to basically let her know, well, she hasn't got a chance and it's a little bit wrong anyway, teacher and student to begin with.
Yeah.
Other negatives?
Well, why you hit on it then? That could be a whole negative for the whole episode. Yeah, he doesn't entice Lisa. Well, she entices him. It's happened loads of times before where the pupil is enticing the teacher, and that's the way this episode went, to be honest. It was Lisa always going up to Mr. Bergstrom. Yeah, it seemed to be that way.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it was played out like just a schoolgirl having a crush. And I say, I think it's just the main point of the fact that Marge is saying, invite him round. Maybe it was like just an innocent thing of pupil wanting to get to know the teacher because he's new in town, but the fact that she'd already told Marge about the feeling she had for Mr. Bergstrom, no matter how strong they were. But yeah, other negatives or...
Would you say Skinner's a negative for not supporting his teacher?
Yeah.
Well, he brought her to the actual classroom, to tell everyone, but then he wasn't very supportive. He was just ushered her out the room and closed the door.
Insensitive.
Yeah.
The fact of basically telling the entire symptoms of it, but at the same point, should Miss Hoover have not known what the effects were?
Yeah.
Or is it just the case of she knew what they were and was still shocked at actually hearing it again? But yeah, again, I think that's just Skinner being not very sympathetic, really. And to be fair, just wanting to get the class running smoothly again.
Yeah.
So yeah, slight negative there. Any others or positives?
The way Mr. Bergstrom went into the classroom originally, would you say, wouldn't it scare the kids a bit?
Possibly. I mean, he didn't look scared, but yeah, I know what you're saying. Another classroom may have been a bit freaked out. The fact he just barges in, and the fact, Skinner's scared witlessly.
Yeah.
So, again, yeah. A normal class would probably have been a bit fearful of that. So yeah, probably a bit. Yeah, like you say, it is a negative, the fact he decided to do that when he should have just entered properly, even if he said it was to get their attention. Yeah. Nice way to get their attention if they're under the table shivering. Move on to positives.
Positives, yeah.
Eventually, Homer in the episode.
I would have said Homer as well, to be honest.
The actual ending, the fact he manages to pull it back around with Lisa after she's so angry with him. The fact he can then actually talk his way out of the situation to then be back in the good books, and then
also supporting Bart. as well.
Cheering Bart up when he believes it's the end of the world not being president, and just the fact with Maggie as well. So basically just showing at the end that he can be a good parent when he wants to be.
Also encouraging Bart to go for presidency, like we said before as well.
Yeah. So yeah, Homer mainly a positive in this episode, yeah. Like I said with the negatives, obviously the little bit with him being Mr. Bertram, but I think as a whole, he was a more positive character in this episode.
I'll go back to a negative. Marge could be a negative as well. You know, I think we said it, but Marge was like deluded. It's like Lisa fancied Mr. Bergson, but she didn't know. He didn't, but she didn't know that teacher felt mutual for Lisa.
Yeah,
it could have been, but he didn't. But
well, again, like I said, it's like even if he did, it's like it's teacher student and it's the massive age gap anyway.
Yeah.
So wrong on all levels. But again, I think it's another one of those episodes where the dynamic changes. Homer being more of the parent, doing more of the actual better parenting to what Marge is doing when you look at it. Even if Marge isn't as neglectful as Homer's, like we say, the way she dealt with the Lisa situation. I don't even think she got involved with Bart and his class presidency. I think that was just between Homer and Bart.
It was, yeah.
Like
to see no one was interested in class presidency. I mean, Martin only won by 2 votes.
And to be fair, that was just the fact that everybody that was on his side just didn't vote anyway.
Exactly.
In fairness, you can just say Martin won by default.
Yeah, easily.
So yeah, any other positives?
I think we said the main positive was Homer in the episode, didn't we?
Yep.
I think that's it, to be honest. I think the moral of the story, what were you trying to get at? It's like, never go after your teacher, it's always a bad thing, and respect your father more. Is that what the way you're trying to get? Because she did disrespect him in the episode, and at the end of the episode it turned out she apologised for calling him a baboon.
Yeah. And plus I think it was probably one of these episodes have Homer look at his weakest so he could actually rise and be a stronger version of himself. Actually give Homer sort of a feel good episode in the end.
Yeah.
Of when he's just like, I think again, it's only signs. I think another first, the fact that he shows he is a proper father to all 3 children.
For change.
And the fact one of the very rare occurrences where he remembers that he even has Maggie as a daughter.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think that's it, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that'll do for the episode itself.
Yep, thanks for watching the video. If we've missed anything from a positive or negative, or you want to add something yourself, put a comment down below.
Like, share, subscribe.
And we'll see you in the next video.